start to the night. Let's give it up for the Shaolin Center and their dancers. Sponsored by U.S. Bank in partnership with LISC Milwaukee, the MANDIs recognize individuals, organizations, and corporations that are improving conditions in Milwaukee's neighborhoods. The finalists are selected from public nominations by a 40-member independent cross-sector volunteer committee. The winners will be announced tonight. So please, let's start out the evening with a big round of applause for our MANDI finalists. Please, finalists, stand to be recognized. The MANDIs are indeed a project of LISC, or the Local Initiative Support Corporation. LISC's mission is to equip struggling communities with the capital, the strategy, and the know-how to become places where people can thrive. That means great places to live and to work, to do business, and to raise children. Thank you, U.S. Bank, for making the MANDIs possible, and to our award sponsors, who you'll hear from later in the program. So please, let's give our sponsors, especially U.S. Bank, a round of applause. Silver sponsors tonight include Bader Philanthropies, Chase, Federal Home Loan Bank of Chicago, Foley & Lardner LLP, the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, Northwestern Mutual, and Waterstone Bank. Thank you for your generous support. And media sponsors are critical to helping get out the word about MANDI, the finalists, and the People's Choice Awards. So please help me in recognizing the Milwaukee Neighborhood News Service, On Milwaukee, Radio Milwaukee, Urban Milwaukee, and WISN 12 for their partnership. We do have several elected and notable officials in the room tonight. I'm going to ask, please stand when I say your name, but everyone else, hold your applause so we can recognize everyone at the same time. Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett, Milwaukee County Executive Chris Abley, Common Council President Mike Murphy, Alderwoman Malele Coggs, Alderman Ashanti Hamilton, Alderman Nick Kovac, State Representative Josh Zepnick, State Representative Dale Koinga, Milwaukee County Supervisor Theodore Lipscomb, Supervisor Willie Johnson, Milwaukee County District Attorney John Chisholm, Director of Milwaukee County Parks John Darkle, and Commissioner Rocky Marcoux of the Department of City Development. A round of applause. Thank you for spending time with us tonight. Tonight, we have another special guest with us, LISC's National Chief Executive Officer. Please join me in welcoming Michael Rubinger.
Well, good evening. It really is, it's always a special pleasure to come to Milwaukee, and particularly to come to the MANDI Awards, because this really is a very special event. It has grown into something quite substantial, as you can see. And I love coming here. The energy in this room, I can tell you, is just contagious, and it's inspiring to see so many people dedicated to revitalizing Milwaukee's neighborhoods. As for LISC, we've invested close to $150 million in pursuit of that goal. And let me just highlight a few examples. We've invested in the development of more than 2,600 affordable homes and apartments in this city. Over $13 million in New Markets tax credits that has produced 800,000 square feet of commercial space and created over 2,000 permanent jobs. $3.4 million in capacity building grants have strengthened 24 nonprofit organizations in the city. And through our national partnership with State Farm, LISC has invested $2.5 million for work on safety, commercial corridors, and our financial opportunity centers. And we're very pleased to be part of the local leadership team for the Federal Department of Justice Burn Innovation Grant in Washington Park, along with the Milwaukee Police Department, the District Attorney's Office, and several community organizations. These are only a few of the highlights of a track record that I think we can all be proud of. But tonight I want to look forward. We are at a critical juncture in our 20-year national-local partnership. And so I'm here tonight to affirm LISC's deep and long-standing commitment to the city of Milwaukee. First, I'm very pleased to announce LISC's latest addition to our work in Milwaukee, our new Executive Director, Dancia Strong-Hill. I can stand up, Dancia. I can tell you from a long history, no local LISC program can succeed without a strong executive director. And I'm confident that Dancia can more than meet that standard. So I'm very happy to welcome her to our team. She'll be starting on April 1st. I know her door will be open, so I hope you'll all come down the first day to greet her and say hello. Second, and I want the mayor to pay particular attention to this, to show our support at the national level, both for Dancia and for Milwaukee, I'm tonight committing $25 million of new national resources over the next 5 years for Milwaukee's neighborhoods. I'm sure you were wondering why this guy was here tonight, and now you know why. Anyway, I am very confident and excited about the future, and I know we're headed in the right direction, and I look forward to celebrating with all of you into the evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. $25 million investment in the city. Isn't that wonderful to hear? So please help spread the good stories from tonight through social media by using the hashtag MANDI16. Social media addresses for MANDI finalists and for this event can be found in your program. And please join the discussion by posting your thoughts on the evening as it all unfolds. And now I would like to welcome a man who has led our city in city government mayor's office since 2004. Please join me in welcoming Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett.
Good evening. You look great out there. It's great to see this room filled. And I want to take just a couple minutes and tell you why I love LISC and why I love the MANDI Awards. As some of you may know, prior to becoming mayor, I served 10 years in Congress. And the first 6 years I served in Congress, I served on the House Banking and Housing Committee and kept hearing over and over again about this organization that was not present in Milwaukee, this LISC organization. And as I heard more and more, I kept thinking, we've got to find a way, we've got to find a way, we've got to find a way to get it here. And lo and behold, they came to us and said, we'd like to come here. And so I'm proud to say I was there when LISC Milwaukee was born. I was at the kickoff event when LISC Milwaukee was born, and now 20 years later, it's going strong. And the reason I was so enamored by it was because of its focus on neighborhoods. It's understanding that in every single city of this nation that you have to have that strong neighborhood quilt to make a city strong. And that's what its commitment has been for so long and continues to be. Now, 2 nights ago, I was at an event actually about the new Bucks Arena, and I ran into Dacia, who I hadn't seen for some time. And I saw her, and I said, Dacia, I just read something about you. What is it? You've got a new exciting job. And she said, you don't know anything. or something like that. She said, it's not public yet. I said, oh, I don't know anything, but congratulations. So tonight I can say formally, congratulations, we are delighted that you have this position. It's a wonderful addition to our city. Now to the Mandis themselves. And about a year ago, we did have the National LISC office here talking about LISC and how it can improve and other things it's doing. And one thing that I hammered home was the importance of the MANDI Awards. That this, and I don't know whether this is replicated in other cities, but I really do find that this is the Academy Awards for neighborhood development in our community. It really is a chance for us to celebrate our neighborhoods and all the great things that are going on in our neighborhoods. And why it's so special for me is I spend a lot of time, a lot of time in neighborhoods, going to neighborhood events. I also spend a lot of time following the media. And if you follow the media, what you see are a lot of negative stories, things that are going bad. And I understand if it bleeds, it leads, and people like to read about sex scandals and they like to read about crime and things like that, because that's what people watch on television. But I also know from my experience that there are more good things going on in the city of Milwaukee than in any city in this state. There are more good things that are going on in this city than in any city in the state. And you don't see it. And the reason you don't see it is because it is happening at the neighborhood level. And what it is, and this is where I get my energy, and I see it in this neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood. No matter what the challenges are, whether they're economic challenges or public safety challenges or education challenges, I can go into any neighborhood in this city, and I'm finding people who are doing everything they can for their kids, for their parents. Sometimes they're working 2 or 3 jobs, and they're fighting back, and they're not giving up. And I see that, and my reaction to that is, if you're not giving up, this city can't give up on you, and I will never give up on you. And what we have tonight are the fruits of that labor. Because you're going to hear organization after organization, individual after individual, who is trying to do everything they can to make this a better city for everyone. And so for everybody who has been nominated for an award, congratulations and thank you very, very much. Let's give them all a round of applause, everybody who's nominated. And I want you all to know that I don't have a vote as to who wins, but if I did have a vote, I would vote for you. Just so you know that, to everybody. But again, thank you, and to Michael, thank you for those resources. You can come back to Milwaukee anytime you want when you give that speech. Give that speech over and over again, but we love having the national involvement. We love having the fresh leadership and the new leadership and the energy that's going to come with that. But most of all, I'm here to say thank you to everybody in this room, because you're all part of creating the hope and opportunity that gives me faith and gives this city optimism for the future. Let's enjoy the great awards that we hear tonight. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Mandis would not be possible without the support of its presenting sponsor, U.S. Bank. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Vice President of U.S. Bank, Suzanne Zwaska.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so pleased to be here, and I see so many familiar faces and so many friends, so this is extra special for me. I'm honored to be here as a representative on behalf of U.S. Bank and to celebrate those whose work and dedication impact and transform lives and our community in powerful ways. U.S. Bank is proud to support the MANDI Awards and to support our longtime partner, LISC, whose great work and contributions to Milwaukee span decades. Congratulations as the new executive director. That's the first I've heard too, so very exciting. Tonight's honorees and finalists are champions of our community. They are dedicated to work that enriches the future of Milwaukee through their tireless efforts in initiatives and programs that uplift our youth and families, as well as our whole community. U.S. Bank has been a part of this community for a long time, with our history dating back to the founding of Farmers and Millers Bank here in 1853. And no, I was not an employee then, shortly thereafter. Today we have 49 branches and we employ 3,500 people in this region. We take our history and our presence in the market as a privilege and a responsibility to give back. We also encourage our employees to give back to the community by providing up to 16 hours of paid time off per year to spend volunteering. Last year, they used it to volunteer 15,000 hours with our local nonprofits. Thank you. Looking to the future, I'm very excited to tell you that we recently launched our new corporate giving and volunteer program at U.S. Bank called Community Possible. Community Possible is founded on a simple belief. We believe all people deserve the opportunity to dream, believe, and to achieve. Through Community Possible, we will focus our investments on home, work, and play, the building blocks that made our country great: a stable job, a home to call your own, and a community connected through culture, recreation, and play continue to be at the heart of the possibilities for all of us. Community Possible will help us focus our giving and make a greater impact on our neighborhoods here in Milwaukee. Please accept congratulations on behalf of U.S. Bank from me personally to those being honored here tonight. Each of your stories speak for themselves. Each of your stories will live through those that you have impacted. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne, and U.S. Bank. Now I'd like to introduce the chair of the LISC Milwaukee Advisory Board, Susan Hatch.
It's a pleasure to be with all of you tonight and to be part of the MANDI Awards. Your work revitalizing low-income neighborhoods help us realize our goal of a strong Milwaukee, a place for all residents to prosper. I'd like to recognize and thank both our local LISC Advisory and Honorary Board. Their commitment and support of our local efforts have been really important to our success. You are a strong, talented group of individuals, all committed to making Milwaukee a better place. Now, if you're a member of our board, would you please all stand up and be recognized? I have a special thanks to Susan Lloyd, Catherine Dunn, Martha Brown, Michael Weiss, Winston, Dan Brophy, and Dan Sweeney, who worked collaboratively with LISC Milwaukee in our search process for our new executive director. Also, many thanks to the MANDI Selection Committee. They've worked countless hours over the past 5 months to review and score examinations, to select the finalists, and to also do site visits. We're really actually grateful to all of them for the work and be able to recognize all these terrific people. Would you please stand and be recognized, the LISC Selection Committee? I'd also like to thank our community partners, our funders and donors who remain committed to our local work during our executive director transition. Now I'd like to share a few quick highlights from our local LISC office. 2015 was a record year for LISC lending in Milwaukee. This includes a $1.1 million loan to our long-term partner, Riverside Economic Development. This will create a retail center at Concordia Avenue and Holton Street. Our collaborative partnership with the Milwaukee Police Department, the District Attorney's Office, Washington Park Partners, and Safe and Sound was funded as a part of the Byrne Criminal Justice Innovation Grant. This effort in targeted intervention was recognized in the top 5 finalists for an international award for excellence in problem-oriented policing. The ACRE program, a partnership with Marquette University, the Milwaukee School of Engineering and Design, and UWM, develops new leadership by people of color in the fields of real estate development, property, and construction management. 220 individuals have benefited from this program. Please raise your hand if you're an ACRE student or a graduate of the program. Lastly, our 2 financial opportunity centers, based on List National's highly successful model, had impressive results. Operated by Journey House and Riverworks, the centers help low to moderate income people build wealth through career and personal financial support. Last year, 156 people were placed in jobs, 179 increased their credit scores, and 145 clients increased their overall net worth. I think that's a really impressive result. In addition to Dancia, our new executive director, we have 2 new additions to our local staff. Bess Earl, formerly of Washington Park Partners, is our new community safety program officer. Renata Berger is our new lending and real estate program officer. She comes to us from WIDA and the National Equity Fund. And many thanks to our current staff, to Sakari Fears, who oversees the ACRE and FOC program, Chris Boston, Director of Sustainable Communities, Dawn Hutchinson-Weiss, Director of Communications, and Amelia Pena, Office Manager, for making sure that our programs continued through this recent executive director transition. They've also worked tirelessly to make this event tonight a success. Now finally, that's enough about us. Let's talk about you, the reason all of us are here tonight. Mayor Barrett, would you please join me? And we will present the first award of the evening. This is the Vision Award. Every year, the LISC Milwaukee Advisory Board selects a person or institution for their leadership in revitalizing Milwaukee. This year, we have a special recipient who is a visionary, a leader, a mentor, and a friend to many of you here in this room. Let's hear more about the late Welford Sanders.
Welford was someone that everyone in my department at UWM looked up to, viewed as a touchstone for what our most fundamental values are.
He was a teacher in all aspects of real estate development, and so as a fledgling developer, he was able to talk through ideas with me. He was able to help me to be creative, and I would say just who he was as a person represented a standard for operation. While most folks were in real estate doing business, he was in real estate changing lives.
On almost any subject, he had knowledge of it, and he could carry the conversation as long as you wanted it to last, and it was always fulfilling. And the things that he knew about was so far-reaching that even at my age, I had the opportunity to learn a whole lot from Welford.
Wilford was just a wealth of knowledge, so he was the perfect person to run an economic development corporation.
The impact that he had on this part of the city was very dramatic. When he came on board with us, we were probably at a point where we were not going to survive if we had not had the kind of infusion that he brought to the agency.
Specific to his work at MLK Economic Development Corp., he has literally transformed the neighborhood.
Certainly here along King Drive is a major part of his legacy because of all of the new development that he worked with the neighborhood leaders to put together.
So Wilford was slowly and methodically rebuilding this neighborhood.
If we look at the past and what this neighborhood was and how vibrant it was and how important it was to the larger community, not only the African American community, but the larger community, I think we can recreate that. I think we can bring that back.
And so as you drive along King Drive or Locust Street or Center Street, you see a neighborhood transformation, but what you don't necessarily see is a subtle transformation of households and families and children and parents and just individuals who now have a quality place to live.
Wilford always had a knack for working with a lot of different agencies, so he worked with River West, Walnut Way.
He worked with the Northwest Side CDC. He worked with the Lisbon Avenue CDC. He was a tremendous leader with Growing Power, serving on their board for many years and really being a cheerleader for the notion of how we could transform food in communities.
My inspiration for this work is really wanting to make a difference, to really be able to improve the quality of life of our neighborhoods, of our communities.
Wilford would do things that the ordinary person would not do. He would go that extra mile for the project, and the legacy that he leaves behind is one that will be cherished by all of us who live in this area forever.
We're pleased to present the award to Wilford's daughter, Dawn Sanders Cavalli, and Ben Johnson, chair of the Martin Luther King Drive Economic Development Board of Directors.
So I want to sincerely thank Mayor Barrett, because I don't believe you can make things happen in the city without high-level support. Ms. Garbasiak read a lot of names that over the years have been very helpful to my dad. And I just want to thank you for that wonderful video. That was, it's wonderful to see my father brought to life like that in such a positive way. So I don't accept that my father is gone. Mr. Johnson noted on Monday that you will see his effects for years and years to come. And actually, if you knew my dad, you would not be surprised that he left without saying goodbye. He was not one to admit defeat, and neither am I. I want to share with you just a few stories of how he refused to give up on individuals and the community. And I was so touched to hear Mayor Barrett say that he would not give up on our community. That is so critical. The first is my grandmother. Throughout her life of raising a family and working, she did not know that with the GED, you could go back and restart your career. My father's first job was at the Madison Urban League, and he helped people who were leaving jail to find jobs. He encouraged my grandmother to go and get her GED, after which she got a college degree, after which she got a master's degree, and she's 82 this year. And she was working actually today. She's working today. For my mother, he encouraged her to take one of the failing schools of MPS and make it one of the most successful inner city schools. This was Custer High School in the 90s. He would not give up on her, and we should not give up on our youth. For me, thank you. For me, he encouraged me to go to Yale, to go to Columbia Business School, to start my own business, and I came out of MPS. And he said, of course, you can come out of MPS and go anywhere. I think that's a very important lesson for us to understand. I went to Milwaukee Public School, regular school, no frills, and it worked out very well for me. I have students of my dad's who come up to me and tell me how he's changed their lives. No matter how stern he was, and the mayor told me to remind everyone that it is very rare to catch my dad smiling in a photo. So that is true. That is very true. Finally, and I'll repeat a story I told Monday, he wouldn't give up on our community, and he really felt that nobody should slip through the cracks. Some young kids were caught stealing at MLK EDC, and when the cops arrived, he sent the cops away, and he put the two young men to work. Now, that is what it means to not let anybody in your community slip through the cracks, to make sure that even the folks who are down on their luck, who are on the wrong side of the law, have another chance, another opportunity to be part of all this progress. I wished he could be here longer to talk to people about gentrification and how, as you change neighborhoods, you can keep incorporating every single person in that neighborhood, even when they find themselves in trouble. He was the same way for his tenants and his businesses, offering them leniency when regular business people would have dismissed them or evicted them. I just want to leave you with a thought. A few short years ago, my dad was trying to find quotes for the opening of King Commons 3, quotes from MLK, from Martin Luther King Jr. And the one that he stuck to, and the one that we spoke about in his last weeks, was the speech from the mountaintop, where King says, "I've seen the promised land, and I may not get there with you. But I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land." My dad returned to that line a lot. I may not get there with you. You know, a few years ago, I didn't know how true that was because my dad had defied the odds and defied science with his recovery. But even though he is not here with us, my faith is alive, and I hope yours is too. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'd just like to say that on behalf of the Board of Directors of MLK EDC, we really appreciate this honor for our fallen leader. We're represented here tonight by our treasurer, Ken Little, our vice president, Mac Weddle, our secretary, Tracy Carson, and our president emeritus, Gwen Jackson. I'd like for you all to stand and be acknowledged on behalf of Welford Sanders, truly a visionary. You all saw his accomplishments, so if you know anyone who can replace him, please let us know. We're taking the application. Thank you all.
Thank you all, especially for those touching and heartfelt remarks, Dawn. I know that while your dad can't be with us, I'm convinced he's so proud of you this evening. Wouldn't you agree? Okay, for those of you who haven't been here before, you might not be familiar with the drill, and I haven't either, but this is what I'm told. We're now at the dinner portion of the evening. However, the servers are, as they begin to bring the dinner to your table, I know it's difficult, but I'm going to ask that the clatter and the chatter be kept to a minimum because we want to respect the hard work of our finalists, because we will present awards throughout the dinner. And if you haven't already entered the U.S. Bank raffle, get your business cards ready. Also on your tables are a few blank cards for anyone who might need them. If your name is drawn, you may select one of the MANDI 2016 finalists to receive a $500 check from U.S. Bank. So volunteers will pick up those cards later in our program. And soon, we'll watch a short video vignette, a series of them, showcasing every finalist. If your name is announced as one of tonight's MANDI's winners, please run, don't walk, run to the stage, come up to the stairway to my left, and accept your award. In addition to the crystal statuette, winners receive a cash contribution of $1,000. And winners may make a few brief remarks before leaving the stage. Off stage, pictures will be taken, and after the program, all finalists will receive a plaque from the selection committee. Please refer to your event program for a brief description of every award category. Okay, now what you've been waiting for, let the awards begin. And for that, we're going to turn to Jean Manzanet from PNC Bank for our first award.
Good evening, Milwaukee. Are we ready? Oh, no. Let's let the ED, the new ED, recognize how much energy Milwaukee has. Are we ready this evening, ladies and gentlemen? First, I want to take a moment and recognize Potawatomi Bingo Hotel and Casino for being a great host and this great facility. A round of applause, please. First, good evening, everyone. And on behalf of all the leadership and staff of PNC and our market president, Chris Goller, I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us this evening at the 17th Annual MANDI Awards. We at PNC have had the privilege of continuing to sponsor the MANDI Awards for quite some time now. And this evening is always an important reminder of all that we've accomplished as a community and all that we can do together throughout the next up-and-coming years in the future. I believe that under the continued guidance, and thankfully we have our new ED of LISC, its staff, its leadership, and the active engagement of everyone in this room, we can continue to make tremendous progress in the development of this city and in this region, especially now, on this unprecedented time in Milwaukee, with all the new investments and brand new developments in the downtown area. We have to be excited about these opportunities, ladies and gentlemen. Thus why I take lots of pride in our leadership team from PNC, that we continue to choose to sponsor the PNC Trailblazer Award and all its nominees. Simply put, it is because we do depend on it. We take our roles as corporate citizens and partners very seriously at PNC, not only because it's our business and our future rely on a vibrant economic community, but it continues to be the right thing to do for Milwaukee. I believe that we need to continue to build on the various successes we've had as PNC. We've built out 11 new branches throughout our market area, but we've also invested over $250 million of tax credits since our inception as PNC throughout the last 5 years. That is being seen as true impact within our neighborhood and our community at large. And more importantly, it has an impact on the very lives of every resident of those neighborhoods in our community, and that I take pride in. We know we will depend on the partnership of many of you to really continue the ongoing success. But I believe that we have many, as I look throughout this beautiful venue this evening, that we have many future trailblazers amongst us that we need to continue to support and to celebrate in the coming years. And I look forward to seeing the type of impact that we're going to have together in this region, especially for Milwaukee. So, with that, I know that we certainly depend on the continued success of the innovative, bold, and passionate spirit of so many organizations and its nominees, especially this evening, our nominees of this year's 2016 Trailblazer Award. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in watching our videos of our nominees.
PNC Bank Trailblazer Award. Foreclosure Reclamation Project, Axe Housing. Since the late 80s, Axe Housing has helped families own their own homes. When the economic crisis hit, the city of Milwaukee faced more than 1,000 tax foreclosures. Axe sprang into action with a new model that would get more families into home ownership, reduce the foreclosure burden on the city, and ultimately help stabilize neighborhoods. From beginning to end, Axe walks families through every aspect of buying and maintaining a home. The team includes licensed brokers, HUD-approved counselors, and experienced property rehabilitators. Axe also formed a unique partnership with the City of Milwaukee to help tenants of tax foreclosed properties consider home ownership. Through an affiliate nonprofit, Axe Lending, qualifying families receive microloans to help fund home purchases and repairs. The average Axe family earns half of the county median income. After purchasing a home, families reduce their housing costs to only $370 per month. In 2007, Axe worked with 5 foreclosures. Now, 1 in every 5 families purchasing a city tax foreclosure in Milwaukee for owner occupancy works with Axe Housing.
Claro que sí, la casa es dúplex y está muy grande. Tiene 3 cuartos en la parte de abajo, 3 cuartos en la parte de arriba, cocina, sala, comedor, y es muy amplio por completo, porque antes tenía que pagar renta, ahora es lo contrario, ahora me pagan la renta a mí.
Since 2008, Axe has worked with families to purchase 536 foreclosures, 185 of them city-owned. With 94% of their families remaining homeowners, Axe Housing converts renters into owners and foreclosures into homes.
Rebuilding Together Greater Milwaukee. Long-term homeowners are the backbone of stable, healthy Milwaukee neighborhoods. Unfortunately, 18% of Milwaukee's senior homeowners live in poverty. With a fixed income and limited resources, many homeowners have few options when faced with decreasing physical mobility and an aging home. Rebuilding Together Greater Milwaukee provides free professional home restoration, vital safety repairs, and life-changing accessibility modifications for homeowners who are seniors, veterans, or living with disabilities.
There were things that needed doing, and I couldn't do them, and I had no one to do them, and they came in and helped me greatly. My doors needed repair really bad. They were cracked at the bottom. A raccoon was in my attic and fell through the kitchen wall, and they had to repair that. And they repaired my light in there also because it was pretty old.
Installing safety grab bars, improving lighting, or repairing a window can mean a world of difference for a homeowner in need. After Rebuilding Together repairs, 92% of homeowners continue to live independently in their homes. Since founding in 2000, Rebuilding Together Greater Milwaukee has invested over $10 million in housing rehabilitation projects on 1,500 properties, allowing invested neighbors to age in place and stabilizing communities through continued home ownership. Additionally, every year, about 500 volunteers contribute sweat equity to transform houses into safe, affordable homes. Moving forward, Rebuilding Together Greater Milwaukee looks to add fee-for-service and chore service programs with an annual goal of servicing 500 homes per year.
The Wisconsin Cycle, First Stage. Launched in 2011, the Wisconsin Cycle is a 6-year original play series designed to explore Milwaukee's rich and diverse cultural history. First Stage is committed to presenting plays that foster understanding, encourage difficult conversations, and act as a catalyst for social and cultural change. The series began with Don't Tell Me I Can't Fly, inspired by the life of Della Wells, an African-American artist from Milwaukee. Next, To the Promised Land explored Golda Meir's ties to Milwaukee and the Civil Rights Movement. A Midnight Cry detailed Wisconsin's role in the Underground Railroad. Luchadora took on gender equity issues, immigration, and Latino traditions like lucha libre wrestling, while The Snow will pay homage to Milwaukee's German and Austrian roots.
I played the lead role in Luchadora, and I found very similar parallels between my character I played and my grandmother's story, being both from Texas and having migrant parents who worked in the fields and finding better lives in Milwaukee. And I think the audience also had an understanding of their own culture. And while I was learning my own history, they were also learning their history with their parents, understanding where their family came from too.
The Wisconsin Cycle has reached more than 43,000 students, teachers, and families. The program includes talkbacks with history experts, art exhibits, and school workshops within Milwaukee and the surrounding community. In 2017, the series will conclude with Welcome to Bronzeville, a tribute to a revered Milwaukee neighborhood rich in history and culture.
My first encounter of Bronzeville, I was coming down north, and I saw this big sign saying, Welcome to Bronzeville. I was like, what is Bronzeville? And then, me living in Bronzeville, I haven't even known about this. And then a couple months later, we are doing this reading for Bronzeville. And I'm like, oh, I'm learning so much about this that I never knew.
At this time, I'm going to ask the 3 finalists to stand to be recognized. Nominees, stand. Before I open this, I want to remind everyone, truly, there are no losers tonight, none. When you're doing this type of work in our community to improve the quality of life of Milwaukee, we all win. But we do have a winner. This year's Trailblazer Award goes to Axe Housing.
So now I'm out of breath, and also I'm carrying something very heavy. But at least I followed the instructions. Thanks so much to Gene and PNC Bank. Thanks to LISC for this just incredible event. It was an honor to be nominated with 2 such fantastic groups, and in particular, Rebuilding Together, a longtime partner of ours. Harvard professor Matt Desmond recently released his book, Evicted: Poverty and Profit in the American City, which is receiving widespread mainstream acclaim. Milwaukee, where he lived for more than a year, is the staging ground for his deeply moving and often heartbreaking narrative. For instance, he shares in his book that 1 in 8 Milwaukee renters experienced at least one forced move in the 2 years prior to his survey. 1 in 8. This is largely due to the fact that the vast majority of low-income renting families in the U.S. spend half of their income on housing, and 1 in 4 spend 70% of their income on shelter. 70%. Think about your own budget. I mean, it boggles the mind to think that you'd only have 30% left. But while I take no issue with the veracity of Professor Desmond's research, I want to share that the ACTS team is absolutely not daunted. We have 20 team members and volunteers that are here tonight, and we've been working alongside low-income families for 2 decades to give them a path to affordable, sustainable home ownership, and frequently saving them hundreds of dollars in the process. It's through empowerment of our neighbors that we can see our way out of this joint eviction and foreclosure crisis. Thanks to all of you for the role you're playing, and if you have a bit more energy, please reach out because we can certainly use the help. Thanks so much.
I love that because earlier this evening I was out mingling and I met some folks with Axe Housing, and they told me that they had been nominated in the past, and I said, I wish them good luck tonight, and they said, that's okay, we never win. There you go. And members of the selection committee do have a difficult job, don't they? So we appreciate the work that they do. Our next award is the State Farm Building Blocks Award. And please welcome Community Relations Specialist Kelly Savage to the podium.
Good evening. Over the past 16 years, State Farm has worked with LISC to provide grants, loans, and equity investments in Milwaukee and communities across the country. When it comes to building safe, stronger, and better educated communities, there may be no better community development organization. Through our ongoing relationship, we have been able to see the positive difference that LISC has had in Milwaukee. And I am proud that State Farm recently announced that they are renewing the ongoing relationship with LISC and providing $4 million over the next 2 years. It's not $25 million, but at least it's something. That was hard to follow. But with that $4 million, $200,000 of that is going to benefit our great city. So I'm really proud about that. Tonight, it's an honor to recognize the State Farm Building Blocks Award winners. They're all winners, the finalists, for their great work. Many thanks to tonight's nominees for all their efforts to make these projects a success. Let's now highlight the finalists for the State Farm Building Blocks MANDI category.
State Farm Building Blocks Award, Mascani Place. Mascani is Swahili for home. On Center Street in the Harambee neighborhood, Mascani Place is designed for homeless families or families at risk of homelessness.
I lost my job and I ended up losing my home that I was living at and ended up in a shelter. I was one of the first tenants to come here with my son, but that was definitely one thing that I was happy. You know, I just been through a lot and I was just grateful and thankful to be able to come and call somewhere, you know, a home.
A partner of the Heartland Alliance, Heartland Housing developed the $10 million project with Ingberg Anderson acting as architect and Reichel Construction as general contractor. The 4-story Mascani Place features 37 apartments in 2, 3, or 4-bedroom configurations. Through a partnership with the Housing Authority of the City of Milwaukee, tenants pay no more than 30% of their income in rent. Units are reserved for people earning less than 60% of county median income.
And we're giving them an affordable place to live, but also matching them with the services they need to overcome those barriers that they've had in the past to housing stability.
Aligning with the supportive housing model, Mascani Place partners with community advocates to provide residents with support services including case management, health awareness, and access to employment training and childcare. Residents also have access to a computer lab, multi-purpose community room, wellness room, outdoor play area for children, and raised garden beds. Additionally, the building has many sustainable features, including Energy Star appliances, low-flow plumbing, as well as energy-efficient lighting, ceiling fans, and windows. For some, Mascani Place may be a lifelong home, and for others, it is a stepping stone to a new life.
Paper box lofts. Injecting life back into a shuttered industrial building, Paper Box Lofts is perfectly situated to provide housing for young professionals and working families in the neighborhood where they also work. a master plan from the City of Milwaukee and Clark Square neighborhood guided the project with two major objectives: improve properties in the Cesar Chavez Business Improvement District and provide quality housing options in the neighborhood.
It was a historically significant building at one time. It was an economic driver for the neighborhood at one time, and we have found a way almost 100 years later to repurpose it and use it again to be sort of a neighborhood anchor that it once was.
Built in 1920 as the Milwaukee Paper Box Company, the 5-story building now houses 72 units of 1, 2, and 3-bedroom apartments. Rent for 85% of these units is categorized as affordable, and 15% is market rate.
What I like so much about this place is because it's right close to where I work. It's convenient for me in so many ways.
Sherman Associates developed this $11 million project with Continuum Architects and Planners acting as the architectural services. Green Fire Management Services, part of the Forest County Potawatomi community, was the construction manager, and minority or disadvantaged firms completed some 45% of the construction. The project used both historic preservation tax credits and low-income housing tax credits through WIDA. While built for modern living, elements throughout the paper box loft celebrate its industrial heritage. That includes exposed mushroom-capped columns, salvaged steel beams, reclaimed fire doors, and historic photos of the original paper box factory. Additionally, the building's red brick facade was painstakingly repaired by hand, with the windows restored to their original profile and geometry. Paper Box Lofts is a model for transforming old industrial properties into valuable neighborhood assets. St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care, Bucyrus Campus. Once a vacant brownfield along North Avenue, St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care Bucyrus Campus is now a thriving destination for care and community.
So often, someone will be coming in from off the street, and either they'll come in for a job interview or they'll come in to look at child care or adult care. Once they get inside, it's so wonderful to see the wide-eyed look of, wow.
The 7.5-acre Bucyrus campus is specifically and creatively designed to provide a positive environment for quality senior care and early childhood education programs. The 2-story, 80,000 square foot facility serves 180 children and 200 adults, bringing together people of all ages and abilities, with many services available to the general public. The St. Anne's Center developed this unique $21 million project with Zimmerman Architectural Studio acting as the architect and C.G. Schmidt as the construction contractor. For 5 years, St. Anne's Center built partnerships with adjacent neighborhood churches, businesses, community groups, and residents, gathering input on how the facility could enhance and enrich their lives. Soon the center also will include an indoor lap pool and intergenerational playground. Outside, visitors will enjoy community gardens, playgrounds, and a 500-seat bandshell built by Park Lawn Assembly of God Church. To date, the Bucyrus campus has created 37 jobs, with 160 expected by the end of 2016. Based on market analysis, the new facility will have an annual economic impact of $4.6 million in the neighborhood.
We're coming in to just be a part of the fabric of what's already here. A rich history of adults and children that are vibrant and working in the community already, and we just wanted to be a part of that synergy and just bringing it all together.
All right, would the partners involved in these 3 impressive projects please stand and be recognized? All right. So the State Farm Building Blocks Award goes to the St. Anne Center for Intergenerational Care, Bucyrus Campus.
I'm on top of the world, hey. I'm on top of the world, hey. Waiting on this for a while now. Paying my dues to the dirt. I've been waiting to smile, hey. The whole day for a while, hey. Take you with me if I can.
aren't kidding. This is very heavy. Oh my goodness, I know what you mean about the Grammys. You know what? I just want to say thank you. Thank you to LISC. Thank you to the MANDI Award Selection Committee. Thank you to the Sisters of St. Francis of Assisi for having the vision to bring what has already been around for many, many years into the central city. We truly want to become a part of the fabric of the city, and we welcome each and every one of you to visit St. Anne's. We're open. We're ready to be there for each and every one of you. Come and visit us. Thank you once again.
I love this. Okay, now I need your help because I practice what I preach. I'm going to tweet about this. So everybody say cheese. Like I'm taking your picture now. 1, 2, 3. Let me hear it. Thank you. Thank you. Mandy's, hashtag Mandy16. Check it out. All right, next category is BMO Harris Bank Cornerstone Award. And here to present the award is Paul Fehrenbach, Vice President of Community Relations. Let's welcome him.
Thank you, Joyce. Good evening. It really is an honor to be here tonight to present the Cornerstone Award on behalf of BMO Harris Bank. Personally, having been involved with Mandy's since the beginning, I go back a few years with this. Every year I get really excited to be here for this awards ceremony. It really has become something. At BMO Harris, and the wind keeps blowing my page along here. Okay, at BMO Harris Bank, our success is directly tied to the success of the people in the communities that we serve. Our bank is only as strong as the people and the communities where we work. And we're committed to improving Milwaukee's neighborhoods. This is why we're a proud supporter of Milwaukee LISC and have been, as the mayor said, I think it's 20 years now that LISC has been in Milwaukee. LISC responds to the specific needs in the community, making neighborhoods better and stronger through community development and neighborhood revitalization. In these challenging times, we know that our commitment with LISC will support resident-driven organizations that are doing great work and in the communities where our employees and our customers live and work. The three organizations selected as finalists for this year's BMO Harris Cornerstone Award have been selected because they demonstrate a long-standing commitment to the communities that they serve. And they do this with persistence and effectiveness. And while we only have one trophy tonight, they really are all champions. So let's take a few moments to highlight the unique work and extraordinary achievements of our three finalists for the BMO Harris Bank Cornerstone Award.
BMO Harris Cornerstone Award, COA Youth and Family Centers in the Amani neighborhood. In 2005, COA Youth and Family Centers opened the Golden Center at 24th and Burleigh, providing after-school and summer programs for youth ages 6 to 18.
We began with youth programming, but it was clear that Amani was one of the most distressed, if not the most distressed neighborhood in the city. Youth services were great, but we began talking to residents about what else needed to be done to really make this a community where people would want to work and live and raise a family.
Recognizing a shortage of close medical care, COA partnered with Children's Hospital of Wisconsin to gather input from residents. The result was a pediatric and family clinic operated by Children's Hospital and the Marquette University School of Nursing. COA has also opened a family resource center for parents and young children to promote positive parenting and strong families. Recently, an early child education center was added to ensure future generations of Amani children enter school prepared to succeed. COA is a key player in revitalizing Moody Park, working closely with residents and Milwaukee County Parks. Renovated Moody Park facilities, which opened in August 2015, are just outside the doors of the Golden Center. Along with the Dominican Center for Women and residents, COA helped launch Amani United, the neighborhood's new neighborhood association. COA supports block clubs and cleanups, publishes a newsletter, and more. In the last 10 years, COA has worked with the community to transform Amani, and the neighborhood is seeing results. Amani saw voter turnout double over 5 years, and crime decreased 31% from 2012 to 2014.
Working with our partners and all of the neighbors and the residents in this neighborhood, we've seen amazing changes over the last 5+ years. People believe that they can make a difference in this community. They have a "we can do it" attitude, and why not? Look at how far we've already come.
Northside Housing Initiative. In 2007, as the foreclosure crisis began wreaking havoc on Milwaukee neighborhoods, the Northside Housing Initiative was formed. Gorman and Company leads the initiative and partners with the City of Milwaukee to renovate blighted, tax-foreclosed houses with affordable housing tax credits through WHEDA.
Several decades ago, these neighborhoods surrounding the Century City area and the 30th Street corridor were the pride of Milwaukee. Since the Great Recession and the foreclosure crisis, and since the loss of jobs in Milwaukee, these neighborhoods have become increasingly vacant, blighted, for lack of investment. What we're trying to do is bring homeownership back to these neighborhoods.
Over the last 8 years, the Northside Housing Initiative has acquired and improved hundreds of vacant lots and blighted properties from the city. Now they're back on the tax rolls as 282 quality single and multifamily homes. The 8-phase project is investing $64 million in neighborhoods hit hardest by foreclosure: Metcalf Park, North Division, Sherman Park, Washington Park, and Amani. The Northside Housing Initiative provides homeownership opportunities to families making 60% of the county median income. After 15 years, residents will be able to buy their homes for the amount of the remaining debt, about $35,000. For renovation and construction, Northside Housing Initiative partners with Northcott Neighborhood House. Northcott's workforce development program has hired more than 200 men and women. They earn a living wage while learning and implementing construction trades such as roofing, siding, and carpentry.
Through this demo work, I plan to gain the experience of learning how to build houses from the ground up through seeing them as we take them down and get permanent, stable employment.
Safe and sound. Communication and relationships are the lifeblood of healthy neighborhoods. And for 17 years, Safe and Sound played a powerful role in uniting residents to improve neighborhood safety.
In the history of Milwaukee, there are reasons why communication has broken down between residents, between law enforcement, and between some partners that bring resources to those residents. Safe and Sound is the conduit that brings those things back together.
Through on-the-ground organizing in North and South Side communities, Safe and Sound has galvanized residents to engage in problem solving. The organization has built networks between community and youth-serving organizations, residents, and law enforcement to further communication and neighborhood revitalization. The result is increased levels of social cohesion, which greatly deters crime. In this year alone, Safe and Sound will engage 20,000 residents at events and meetings and connect with more than 12,000 residents at their door. Throughout its history, Safe and Sound staff has supported hundreds of block clubs and distributed hundreds of thousands of pieces of literature in the community. Additionally, its former Safe Places program invested tens of millions of dollars in local agencies supporting youth development. In 2015, Safe and Sound added youth organizers to their team who directly engage and activate young people in positive community activities.
The role of Safe and Sound is to connect the youth, residents, law enforcement, and community resources. One example of that is when Safe and Sound worked with Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church to convert a vacant lot into a beautiful common space for the community to use on 24th and Monarchy.
Other cities around the state and country are looking to replicate this approach to promoting public safety, a testament to safe and sound success in Milwaukee.
Terrific. Would our three nominee finalists please stand to be recognized? Thank you. Oh, this is exciting. I still get excited every time I do this. And I was on the selection committee, and I don't remember who won. The BMO Harris Bank Cornerstone Award for 2016, COA Youth and Family Services.
First of all, thank you so much. 10 years ago, COA bought a bankrupt building in the most distressed neighborhood of the city, and we opened the COA Golden Center. The facts were just awful. Highest crime rate, highest infant mortality, most foreclosures, highest unemployment. There were few opportunities for youth, so we opened daily youth programming. There was no health care, so we partnered with Children's Hospital and opened a pediatric and family clinic. There was no place for parents to go, so we opened a family resource center and family programming. There was no park, just a boarded up former Moody pool. So we partnered with Milwaukee County Parks Department and the residents, and now there's a new Moody Park. There was no quality early child education, so we built and opened a new quality early ed center. And most important, there was no sense of community, only a no-name neighborhood with little resident involvement. But today, that has changed. The neighborhood has vibrant youth programs, a new Moody Park, a new family resource center, a new quality early child education center, a new clinic providing access to health care, residents actively engaged in the Amani United Neighborhood Association and the Friends of Moody Park, and most of all, that we can do attitude. The residents got involved, and Amani found an identity, and Amani found hope. Voting has doubled, crime has decreased, and it happened because not just COA, but a lot of partners had to come together to make this happen. This really shouldn't be an award just for COA. It's an award for all of those partners. So thank you to our Amani partners, the Dominican Center for Women, Children's Hospital of Wisconsin, Northwestern Mutual Foundation, the Marquette University College of Nursing, the Milwaukee County Parks Department, the Milwaukee Police Department, Safe and Sound, Our Avenue School, Nova School, Amani United Neighborhood Association, the Friends of Moody Park, and more than anything else, thank you to the residents of Amani, and thank you.
As you continue to enjoy your dinner, you ready for a giveaway? Okay, centerpieces that adorn your table were donated in part by Greenfield Flower Shop. If you have a gold star on the back of your program, congratulations, that centerpiece is yours. Yeah, we got some winners there, nice. Excellent. We will continue with our program now. And to talk about the next award category, which is the Northern Trust Navigator Award, please welcome Northern Trust Senior Vice President and Wealth Strategist, Mr. Jamie Reeve.
Thank you, Joyce. Didn't mean to sneak up on you. Well, this night always is pretty exciting, and it also reminds me how much more all of us can do to be among the finalists tonight. I'm Jamie Reeve, as Joyce said, and I'm pleased to be here again tonight representing not only the LISC board, but my employer, Northern Trust. Since our founding 126 years ago, Northern Trust and its employees has been investing in our communities where we live and work. Locally, we've been involved with LISC Milwaukee for a number of years and are proud again to be the Northern Trust Navigator Award sponsors. The Navigator category showcases individuals rather than organizations who bravely and boldly lead impressive and important change in our fair city. A navigator is the person whose job it is to steer the ship. A navigator plans and charts the course. She or he points the boat in the right direction. The term navigator brings to mind famous explorers, Columbus, Magellan, Ernest Shackleton, Amelia Earhart, and Buzz Aldrin, among others. And as I think about it, there are many qualities that a navigator must have within. Among them, a deep conviction that they can steer towards something new, something better or different. They're seekers in search of a safer or more desirable place from where they originally launched. While many of history's notable navigators, and I see a historian named Gerda out there, while many of the notable navigators sought fortune and fame, tonight's honorees didn't. They're humble, but they deserve our brightest lights. Let's now take a look at the 3 finalists for the Northern Trust Navigator Award.
Northern Trust Navigator Award, Larry and Sharon Adams. When Sharon Adams moved back home after 27 years, she found her once vibrant neighborhood in disrepair. Determined to turn things around, she soon met Larry Adams, who was renovating houses in the area.
I caught the fire from him that is much more than restoring my home, but here was someone who was against all odds restoring the community and respecting the people that lived there.
Larry and Sharon formed a powerful union that would transform their own lives and the neighborhood. In 2000, they co-founded the Walnut Way Conservation Corporation. Led by residents under Sharon and Larry's leadership, Walnut Way has mobilized $26 million in investment, built or restored 200 homes, built an urban campus of gardens, orchards, and apiaries, transformed vacant lots into parks, and brought together hundreds of residents to create a common vision for their neighborhood. Larry is an implementer, working with heart, soul, and muscle. Sharon is a convener and collaborator, engaging neighbors person by person and porch by porch. Both have built legacies.
With community building, you have people close and you embrace. You don't make perimeters. And the way that you're really successful is you let people in their heart.
Championed by Larry, Walnut Way's Blue Skies Landscaping Workforce Program is flourishing, employing and training community members in sustainable landscaping and green construction. Guided by Sharon's vision, the Innovations and Wellness Commons opened in 2015. Outpost Natural Food, the Juice Kitchen, Milwaukee Center for Independence, and Fondi Food Center opened in the catalytic development at 16th Street and North Avenue, a crucial location for the neighborhood and city. Their partnership is rooted in a wholehearted commitment to each other and their community. Due to their work, positive change and strong leaders will grow for generations to come.
Rodney Barrage Sr. Rodney Barrage has devoted his life to service as a mentor, friend, and parent figure to some of the most at-risk boys in Milwaukee.
Our boys in this community are lacking a lot of services that they need. So I just saw when there was time to give back, I was trying my best to be there, and ever since then, I've been there for the boys.
Rodney grew up in Milwaukee's 53206 zip code and attended Washington High School. From 1991 to 2001, Rodney worked at the Urban Waldorf School, where he was the first African American to implement the Waldorf curriculum in an urban school. Rodney was later a teacher, athletic director, and coordinator of a community learning center. For more than 2 decades, Rodney volunteered with Beckham Stapleton Little League, Milwaukee Kickers, and AAU basketball, working with 100 teams and thousands of youth. In 2006, Rodney founded Operation Dream, a youth development program embodying his personal philosophy and beliefs. Operation Dream brings together at-risk African American boys ages 4 through 18 with dedicated positive role models from the same zip code. The organization has 5 primary values: discipline, respect, education, appreciation, and mentoring. Programs are developed around those themes in academic support, athletics, service, and more. In 2010, Rodney worked with colleague Dan Parman to start Operation Work, an employment and entrepreneurship training program. Through love and determination, Rodney Barrage is unlocking the potential of future generations of African American young men in Milwaukee.
Mr. Barrage was there. He was there a lot of times for a lot of the hard things to help me get through. And even now, he says, just call him every now and then and say, hey, Mr. Barrage, you did your part. Now let me show you that all your hard work you put into me is paying off. And then now it's my turn to put hard work into someone else. My turn to help someone else and mentor someone else as you did.
Dick Larson. Dick Larson comes from humble beginnings, growing up a block from Washington Park during the Great Depression.
Well, there was a point in time in my life when I had no hope or little hope. And I made the decision that when I was in a better position in terms of my own financial status or whatever, I was going to try and help people that were in that position and bring about at least a sign of hope for them that there's a way out.
After becoming an engineer early in his career, he founded Larson Electronics, expanding the company to $15 million in annual sales. At the same time, Dick found his vocation through service. His church introduced him to Milwaukee's fair housing protests, where he befriended social activists throughout Milwaukee. He became heavily involved in the Congress of Working America, later worked for Wisconsin. He established a welding program at North Division High School and helped start a program to provide blue-collar workers with transportation. Dick was also an early supporter of the Next Door Foundation and even founded a sailing program for city youth. Inspired and influenced by Bishop Desmond Tutu, he became board president of the International Forgiveness Institute, pioneering a curriculum first used in Northern Ireland and still used in Milwaukee schools today. Dick later founded the Youth Employment Training Program at the Nehemiah Project, a home for at-risk youth, empowering hundreds of Central City teenagers. At 85, Dick shows no signs of slowing down. He's also working with the Kent Foundation, Coalition for Children, Axe Housing, and Rotary Club, and serves on advisory boards at UW-Milwaukee and Cardinal Stritch. From humble beginnings, Dick's widespread and deep impact will affect Milwaukee for decades to come.
I don't know what's going to come tomorrow, but I know there's going to be something tomorrow that's going to create an interest in me to the extent that I will say, yes, I'd love to do that, with enthusiasm.
Indeed, impressive, impressive. Would you all 3 or 4 please be recognized standing? Dawn, would you remind me to bring my letter opener next year, please? This year's Northern Trust Navigator Award winner is Mr. Rodney Barrage.
Thank you, everyone. I'd like to thank God for making this all possible. I'd also like to thank MANDI and LISC for a wonderful evening and opportunity to share this light of the work that I do with these young boys and young people through the organization called Operation Dream. A special thanks to Linda Gorns-Levy for nominating me for this award, for her belief in our programs and in our boys and in the vision we have to make a change in my hometown. Special thanks to my family and friends, to the board of directors of Operation Dream and the staff that makes this work possible. They do the work. I started it, but we have a team that's out of this world. People that go above and beyond. To some of the boys in this city that have been forgotten, that do not have advocates, we have people that care, and they're there. They're there for these boys 24/7, 365 days a year. And I'd like to thank everyone involved and all of you for what you do for this city. No, we won't give up on this city. We won't give up on our children. We won't give up on our families. I'd like to thank everyone, especially my family, who sticks with me through thick and thin. My family, and also the love of my life, Wendy. Thank you.
I don't know about you, but I was so inspired by each of the nominees, especially in that last category. One of my favorite writings, it's by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he defines success, and one element of the definition is to know that one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. And that just went through my mind as I listened to all the accomplishments of our nominees. So please, may we applaud them one more time, all of them. Our last juried award tonight is the Brewers Community Foundation Public Space Award. And here to present it is J. Allen Stokes of the MANDI Selection Committee. Let's welcome him.
Good evening. I'm standing in for Cecilia Gore. Obviously, I'm not Cecilia. She looks a lot better than I do. But I would do my best to represent Cecilia this evening in the Brewers Foundation. But before that, I'd like to say that it is indeed an honor to be here this evening, and particularly a privilege to be here tonight as you honor all the honorees, but more importantly, as you honor a friend and a brother of mine, Wilford Sanders. Let me just say this, and then I get to my part for Cecilia. I mean, Wilford would say that what you do is important. What you do for people who live in these neighborhoods is important. And I don't care what anybody says or what anybody would tell you. I don't care what you read or what you hear in the papers. What you do for people who are less fortunate than we are is important. And it's an honor and a privilege to be able to do that. And it's an honor and a privilege to stand here tonight when you honor a brother like Wilford Sanders, who gave all that he had to his last days trying to do something better for somebody who's less fortunate than he was. Thank you very much. Okay, now, for the job that they asked me to come here for, on behalf of the Brewers Community Foundation, we're pleased to sponsor the List Public Space Award through the MANDI's List. Milwaukee has done a remarkable job in highlighting our city's unsung heroes, supporting important work to improve neighborhoods, and sharing the outstanding work that each of you have done every day in the broader community. The impact of the organizations that are represented in this room tonight has been tremendous. I am very happy to be associated with all the organizations and agencies that care so passionately about our community. The Brewers Community Foundation Public Space Award specifically recognize safe, accessible public spaces and critical roles that they play in the overall health and the vitality of our families and our neighborhoods. I believe LIST and the MANDIs and the organizations represented this evening are perfectly aligned with our mission. As an official charitable arm of the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club, we harness the pride, the passion, and commitment of Brewers, fans, players, and others other supporters to positively impact the lives of children, family, in the greater Milwaukee and Wisconsin. We seek to be thoughtful and dependable philanthropic leaders focusing on our support in areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs, with particular focus on low-income and disadvantaged youth and their families. Without further delay, let roll the video for the finalists.
Brewers Community Foundation Public Space Award, Doors Open Milwaukee. Fostering a sense of civic pride, Doors Open Milwaukee helps Milwaukeeans from all walks of life to explore their city and celebrate its diverse neighborhoods.
It's hard to believe that in just 5 years, it really has become an institution here in the city of Milwaukee, but it has. And the magic of it is it brings people from the city, but from surrounding areas, into the city and throughout the neighborhoods of the city of Milwaukee.
Produced by Historic Milwaukee, the annual two-day festival includes behind-the-scene tours and lectures highlighting 150 of Milwaukee's hidden and not-so-hidden treasures. Doors Open features sites across the city, including downtown, Brewers Hill, Burnham Park, Clark Square, Lindsay Heights, Menominee Valley, Mitchell Street, Silver City, and Walker's Point. Visitors experience historic buildings, art studios, unique businesses, signature architectural sites, schools, and churches. In 2015, Doors Open attracted over 30,000 attendees from Milwaukee and surrounding communities. 65% of attendees visited a new neighborhood, with 77% reporting their opinion of the neighborhood improved as a result of their experience.
The people who came here, I'd say 3/4 of them had never been to our farmers market before. So they were pretty surprised at just the throngs of people here, people walking away with just armloads of fresh produce that had been picked by headlight the night before. It's not an image that one normally associates with Northside Milwaukee. It gave us an opportunity to present this neighborhood in a new light.
Doors Open Milwaukee is a citywide event that cuts across boundaries, inviting the public to celebrate Milwaukee's rich histories, landmarks, and culture. Turtle Park. The River Revitalization Foundation improves neighborhoods and water quality by revitalizing rivers. Turtle Park is a shining example of their long-term impact on the community. After 8 years of negotiation, the River Revitalization Foundation acquired Melanek's Wheelhouse on Riverboat Road, a former restaurant along the Milwaukee River, in 2009. Workers removed the crumbling building and began the hard work of transforming a blighted parcel into something completely new, a place for people and nature to thrive.
Living across the street for the better part of the last decade, this parcel has been absolutely transformed from an intimidating area to an inviting area.
The River Revitalization Foundation brought together a wide variety of public and private partners, attracting more than $3 million of investment. The result is Turtle Park, a rustic 3-acre parcel along the Milwaukee River between downtown and River West. Serving as a wildlife habitat and public access point to nature, Turtle Park includes a greenhouse, rain garden, bioswales, demonstration garden, bike racks, fishing point, and boat launch. Turtle Park also offers educational opportunities to school groups, AmeriCorps crews, and volunteers. Through the Earn and Learn program, Milwaukee teens have worked to improve the park while learning about the environment and gaining employment experience.
My first time being here, it was tall grass, tall trees. We weren't able to see the river from where we're standing there right now. While working with the Earn and Learn crew, we enhanced it by removing invasive species, removing the tall trees, tall grass, and now it's a place where you can breathe, you can walk, you can hike, you can kayak, fish, anything you put your mind to, you can come do it. It's outside nature.
Moody Park. From 1978 to 2002, Moody Pool was a thriving destination for families in the Amani neighborhood. After that, the pool was closed, and eventually the building was demolished, leaving an empty space that soon became a magnet for crime. Neighborhood groups and residents came together, including Amani United, Dominican Center for Women, and COA Youth and Family Centers, working with Milwaukee County Parks to plan a new park.
The Moody project was a 3-year project, which the neighbors, residents, friends, collaborating partners all worked together. We had sleepless nights, tedious moments, but the collaboration was worth the outcome, what you see here now, today.
The nice thing about getting input from the community is you don't have to guess. So what we have here reflects a lot of great ideas that we didn't have initially from the members of the community.
The community sought to create a vibrant public space that would be the centerpiece of this neighborhood's revival. In August 2015, 500 attendees celebrated the grand opening of the new 4.1-acre Moody Park. Community members were eager to experience the 3,000 square foot community building, an interactive splash pad, 3 full-size basketball courts, and an outdoor multi-gym. Additionally, a lighted pathway winds through the park to encourage walks and bike rides, with plenty of open green space for programmed and informal recreation. In its first full summer, a wide variety of programming is planned for the park, led by the Friends of Moody Park. Plans include rugby clinics, soccer programs, chess tutorials and tournaments, fathers mentoring fathers, live music, a walking club, and much more.
Thank you. Would all the Brewer Community Foundation Public Space Award nominees please stand, please? Winner is Moody Park.
I didn't prepare anything to say. Welcome to Calvin C. Moody Park. It's a great day to be in the parks, and we got a lot of work to do. When I arrived here about 2.5, 3 years ago, this was my first project here in Milwaukee, and it confirmed why I decided to come to Milwaukee with community engagement, community involvement. We created a plan for everyone to enjoy this park. And I'm very grateful and honored to be part of this community as your Milwaukee County Parks Director. And we can't do it alone. Again, as I said, we have a lot of work to do. And again, Moody Park is a prime example of what we can do as a community together to be a great park system for the future. On behalf of the county executive and our Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors, again, this has been a long road that we've finally come to fruition. And thank you very much again from our Parks Department to the community for making this happen. Thank you very much.
And now we also have Sister Patricia Rogers.
This is indeed a surprise, but it's a welcome surprise. The residents worked very hard to see this become a reality. So please, will all of you stand and be recognized for the hard work that you did. I'd like to say thank you to everybody that had anything to do with this, and to know that Moody Park will be the centerpiece of the Amani neighborhood. Thank you.
Okay, so you may remember I said the last juried award was that one, because the last award of the evening is the Wells Fargo People's Choice Award. And this is a new category where the public gets to decide the winners. So let's welcome Wells Fargo Vice President and Community Development Officer Dan Sweeney for more about that. Dan.
Good evening, everyone. I do have to say this is probably the most subdued Mandy's crowd I've ever experienced, so I don't know if it's because we haven't had any coffee yet or the bar wasn't open long enough, but some suggestions for next year. Before I go into my brief remarks for this award, I would like to call out Dawn Hutchinson-Weiss and Dion Grayson, who put this amazing event together. So, thank you. So I'm very excited to announce the MANDI 2016 Wells Fargo People's Choice Award. Last year was the first new award, this was a new award category of last year, and we had 1,640 people vote in this category. The goal of the MANDIs is to shine a light on people and projects working hard to revitalize Milwaukee's neighborhoods, and the Wells Fargo People's Choice Awards help expand that goal by sharing these stories with the broader public. At Wells Fargo, we share LISC's passion for our city and applaud its efforts to let the public participate in the MANDI Awards. Wells Fargo has invested millions of dollars into Milwaukee's neighborhoods to support housing, neighborhood development, financial education, and so much more. And like LISC, we continue to strive to be a trusted partner in creating a healthy, vibrant city across all of our neighborhoods. So I mentioned 1,640 votes last year. This year we had 2,517 people read stories, watch videos, and vote for their favorite initiatives. This success was due to the dedicated work of the finalists, media partners, and all of you who helped spread the word about the Wells Fargo People's Choice Awards. I especially want to thank the Neighborhood News Service for hosting the People's Choice Awards and providing extensive coverage of every finalist. So let's give them a round of applause. So each one of these winners will receive $1,000 and a Wells Fargo People's Choice Award trophy. So I'm going to read each one of the winners, and if they could quickly come to the stage, provide brief remarks, and then we'll move on to the second and third winners. So, the first winner of the People's Choice Award is Larry and Sharon Adams.
We all got dreams, we can't let go. We wanna be brave, don't be afraid, no. Today, live like you wanna. Let yesterday burn and do it in a fire, in a fire, in a fire.
That was a surprise. But I'd like to say, we'd like to say, thank you to everyone from the very first motivator, Connie Bouquet, as well as Wilford Sanders. The first employee, Nicole Lightwine, to the last hire yesterday, Azan Debris. So we're continuing to move forward, and thank you.
Well, I started off running to Larry, and I'm still doing it. You know, the joy of this moment is to be able to have the opportunity to say thank you. When we looked at the videos, when we looked at the names, so many of you have helped us, have worked with us, have inspired us, and forward we go together. Thank you.
So the second of the 3 winners for the Wells Fargo People's Choice Award is Doors Open Milwaukee.
I'm Stacy Swadish, the Executive Director of Historic Milwaukee, and I love to tell the story that when I took this job 2.5 years ago, everyone said, Historic Milwaukee? And they said, oh, they put on Doors Open. They're like, oh, what a great job. So thank you to more than the 30,000 people who made a site visit last year. Grace Fear is part of Doors Open, and I do want to say in full disclosure that Dan Sweeney's my board chair, but he had nothing to do with the vote counting. Thank you.
And the final and third winner of tonight's Wells Fargo People's Choice Award is COA Youth and Family Centers in the MANDI neighborhood.
A 110 years ago, an amazing group of women founded COA Youth and Family Centers. And today we serve more than 10,000 children and families at 11 locations throughout the city of Milwaukee. And you cannot be a community organization in this city unless you are deeply rooted in, attached to, and love the community in which we all live, work, play, enjoy. And this means an incredible amount to me because it's that love for the people of Amani and the people in the River West neighborhood, the people in Harambe, and throughout the community where we work that makes us what we are today. And so this is for you.
Okay, one more round of applause for all of our finalists tonight. Again, I keep tailoring my remarks to those of you who may be here for the first time this evening, so I know you're wondering, what about dessert? You're wondering? Okay, don't worry, it's coming, it's coming. Now, I know you have your business cards ready, so here it comes, the U.S. Bank raffle. And once again, let's have Suzanne come back up and tell us more about that.
Before I go on script, I just want to say this is the best event I feel that we have here in Milwaukee to recognize such great work that's going on. I'm a native of Milwaukee. I graduated from MPS. My family grew up on 35th in Burleigh, and I went to James Madison High School. So as I look around the room and I look at all the great work, I'm just touched. It's just wonderful to see all of the efforts that are going on and on and on, and in the generations that precede all of us. Continue to go forward. So thank you, everybody. And again, congratulations to all of the finalists. One more round of applause, please. So, on to the check. That's a very exciting part of my job. I get to come with a check that didn't fit in my purse. This year, you can help one of the finalists win an additional $500 through the U.S. Bank raffle. If we draw your name, you get to pick which Mandy finalist or winner receives an additional $500 for their charity. There's no cost to enter, just get your business cards out, please. While the volunteers are collecting cards, this is very important, I'd like to ask all the finalists to join me up here on the stage for the closing and a Mandy 2016 photo. So please make your way up quickly. Volunteers will be collecting your cards. If you want to catch someone's attention, please raise your hand. All the finalists, come up and join me on stage if you would, right away for your picture. Thank you. Finalists, come on up. And please raise your hand if you haven't had an opportunity to put your business card in for the drawing.
I can lie in the front. I'm tall, I can go with that.
Last call. Do we have all our finalists up on the stage, please? Okay, everybody, I found the check here in my purse. Dawn's gonna do the pull here. You go ahead and you can announce it.
Rachel Kennedy, Impact 7. Rachel, come on up.
There she is. Rachel, I'm not going to make you run. I have boots on. I didn't like to run either. Who would you like to be the finalist that receives a $500 donation from U.S. Bank?
I would like it to be Turtle Park.
Turtle Park. Can I have my representative from Turtle Park? I need my representative from Turtle Park. Come on up. Thank you very much, everybody.
Are the kids coming up now for stage? Children?
Nope, we have one more.
Okay. All right. Wait, there's. Oh, okay. Oh, come on, come on.
I'm sorry, photographers. I have my directions, so hang on. We're going to take a group shot at the end. And a reminder for all the finalists to please pick up your awards as you exit that way. For all of the reasons that I'm proud to call this community home, this has got to be right up there. First Stage Children's Theater. My youngest attended First Stage from about 3rd grade on, leaving last year as a member of the Young Company. She is now a theater major at Northwestern University and has been accepted into the Music Theater Certificate Program. I know, personally, the wonderful foundation that First Stage gave her on stage, but more important is their philosophy of life skills through stage skills. First Stage helped my daughter to learn that I can't is not in her vocabulary. And here's what I mean. So let's have the group from First Stage lead us in our closing tonight. I think they're going to make their way forward now.
So this is a cheer that we do every day in front of our classes. This is written by students for students. So I know we just ate, but can you please everyone stand up? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna say what we're gonna do, you're gonna repeat it, then at the end, we're gonna cheer. So, all right, here we go.
I can't is not my vocabulary.
I can't is not in my vocabulary. I take risks.
I conquer my fears.
I conquer my fears.
I am not afraid to lead.
I am not afraid to lead.
Beautifully done. Thank you so much, ladies. I so appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, for a great night. You're wondering about the desserts, right? They're coming on these carts right here. Enjoy, linger. Thank you so much for making this a part of your evening.